Namaste. Maya is a very common word that has entered the English language. Unfortunately, it's been mistranslated. So, Dr. Das, Maya is often translated as illusion. In fact, our own sadhus and teachers and pundits are all talking like that only. So, what do you think of that, Maya versus illusion? What are the issues?
So, illusion, I would say, is one function of Maya. First of all, we have to understand that Maya is not some impersonal thing. Maya is a person. It is one personality, which we also call as Maya Devi. And she has a role to play. So, when we study from our, say, Vedanta point of view, so Maya has a function that it bewilders the living being. It deludes, it creates delusion. So delusion is created in two ways. It has two functions. One is called Avarana Shakti. It has two Shaktis in it. Avarana Shakti and Akshepa Shakti. Avarana Shakti is the covering potency and Akshepa is the bewildering potency. So to give an example, to illustrate it, that what happens is that suppose these days everybody watches television. So the companies which they want to sell a product, they make very nice advertisements. So by seeing it, what they are doing is that they are actually putting knowledge inside you of something, which is mostly not true. Because most of the time these advertisements are exaggeration.
Yes.
So similarly, Maya, what it does is that we have our Swarupa, we are a conscious living being. We are not the body. So first this consciousness becomes covered and we start thinking I am the body. Ajnanena avritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. So this moha, this delusion is the first function which is created covering our true nature. And then that is not sufficient. If you don't know what you are, that's fine. But then to know that wrongly that you are this body, that is the second part. And then she produces all these material objects outside for you to play. So Maya also means that which plays.
So Maya hides the truth.
Yes.
And projects a false virtual reality.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Right.
So it's like if I put on virtual reality goggles, one part is that I can't see what is really there.
Right.
Because the goggles are blocking the real thing.
Right.
And then the goggles are playing a movie and I'm supposed to be in that virtual world.
You're part of that.
I'm part of that. So two things have happened. One is blocking what is real, and secondly projecting some unreal narrative, some story, some fantasy, some whatever vision.
Right.
So Maya has both these purposes.
These two functions.
And
then the interesting thing is that Maya cannot perform these two functions without the support of Bhagavan. Because illusion is always rooted in reality.
Right.
Because if there is no reality, there cannot be an illusion.
Right.
So Maya ultimately has its support in Bhagavan. And therefore, if you want to get rid of this Maya, then you have to take shelter of Bhagavan. So that's why Krishna says very categorically in Bhagavad Gita, he says, Devi hiyesa gunmayi mama maya duratyaya. He says that this Maya is made of three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, which Prakriti is another word we use for that. Devi hiyesa gunmayi. It is called Devi, means it is actually playing. The children, we are like the children, and we are playing with these material objects like toys, So you keep on playing with that and you don't realize that actually your real father is Bhagavan, and that's where you belong to.
So can we say that the whole world as Maya, like they sometimes say the world as we see it is Maya, means partly that the actual reality has been masked,
right,
and some other thing has come up.
Yeah, so therefore he says, Devi hiyesa gunmayi mama maya duratya. It is very difficult to surmount it. It is unsurmountable by your own self. So what is the solution? He says, Mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. Only those people who take shelter of me, they can cross over it. So when he says, okay, leave this jiva, don't bother him, then Maya says, okay, I fold my hands, I won't trouble.
So now let's discuss illusion. How is it different? Right. So first I can tell that illusion doesn't have Bhagavan Because when in the English-speaking world we say there's an illusion, there is no built-in idea that there is a Bhagavan, ultimate reality, who's projected this, and the only way to get out of illusion is to take shelter in Bhagavan.
Right.
That is not part of the illusion idea.
Right.
So that's one way it's different.
That's very important difference.
Very important difference.
Because you don't know how you can get out of this.
Yeah,
illusion.
yeah. And then the other difference is, I'm not sure the word illusion includes that both there is some kind of a delusion to cover up the reality, and then there is the actual projection of a false reality. I don't think the two are clearly separated when they talk
Yeah,
about.
when people are speaking, they're not very clear what they mean by it.
So Maya is a person,
Right.
a personality with the structure of these two components, a plan, a plan, and there's a whole system that's working. That
Yeah.
Maya is a whole system, whereas illusion doesn't convey any of this.
Yeah, really speaking, if you want to go into more detail, Maya has got two parts in it. One is called Jiva Maya,
Okay.
other is called Guna Maya.
Okay.
So Guna Maya is that which I said that externally through the gunas it creates the universe.
Right.
And Jiva Maya is what I was talking about, that it is covering the
idea of who I am.
who you are and then making you think all this external world in a wrong sense, not recognizing the reality behind it.
So it is actually a false self, conceptualized self, looking at a false reality being projected, and this is the dance that's going on.
Right. And then the study which you are doing of this world is also using the products of Maya.
Right.
You see, you have your mind, you have your intelligence, your senses, they're all products of Maya. So you are trying to study the objects of Maya with the products or instruments of Maya, and you think you are going to go and get the reality. So this is what all science and technology is about.
So can we say that physics is the study of Maya?
Yeah, it
What is the behavior of Maya?
Study of Guna Maya,
Yeah, so
not also of Jiva Maya.
of good Maya,
Right.
of the external Maya,
Yeah, that's-
objectified Maya. So all the laws of physics are basically trying to study the behavior of Maya. When you say you are trapped in Maya, that is then it means there is a way out, because Maya is anchored in Bhagavan, so there is a way out. Whereas when you say somebody is trapped in illusion, it does not carry the same process, the same shastra to explain how it works and what to do about it.
Yeah.
That's the
Okay,
reason that translating Maya as illusion is misunderstanding.
Yeah, and sometimes people misunderstand that when you say Maya is illusion means that it's not real. Sometimes they say Maya means illusory energy. It's not illusory in itself. Maya is real. It's the effect which she is creating is causing us to be illusioned. So we have to understand that clearly.
So Maya is real because it's an aspect of Bhagavan.
Right.
But what it is doing to us, how we are thinking of the world, of ourselves and the world, that is
not ultimately real.
not ultimately real.
Right.
Wonderful. This is very nice. Thank you. Namaste.